A national study commissioned by the John S. and James L. Knight Foundation and conducted by researchers at the University of Connecticut says that America's high schools are leaving the First Amendment behind. According to the Future of the First Amendment study, released in January 2005, high school students lack appreciation and understanding of First Amendment rights. Media professionals and educators met in Washington, D.C. to discuss the study and how to utilize these findings.
5 freedoms: speech, religion, press, assembly, and petition. 5 very basic freedoms. I think the most basic parts of our democracy, and unfortunately 5 freedoms that many Americans know very little, if anything, about.
These beliefs are echoed in the survey's results conducted by University of Connecticut researchers Dr. David Yaloff and Dr. Ken Dottridge.
On the first, the issue of taking these freedoms for granted, what we did was we asked students, teachers, and principals about the rights guaranteed by the First Amendment. Are they something you personally think about? Are they something you take for granted? Obviously, you can see on the first set of blocks, personally think about far less than the teachers and the principals in those same schools. Something is not being transmitted clearly, and that's a very distressing number. Maybe one of the most distressing findings we have from this survey.
The study was conducted by questioning more than 100,000 high school students, nearly 8,000 teachers, and more than 500 principals and administrators.
Not all high schools, in fact, many high schools are not getting the job done in terms of instilling an awareness and appreciation of the First Amendment rights, and students are leaving high school really less tolerant of those rights than most other groups in society.
And for many of us who have been involved in student First Amendment issues, it reinforces something that we perceived but really didn't have the evidence to back up, at least the statistical evidence. But what this shows is that young people are really woefully unaware of just what the First Amendment protects.
We need to preach to students about the First Amendment rights, but we also need to let them practice it. That way, there is some sort of relation to the students, because, you know, they're not going to care. If this is something we just force into our curriculum, then it's just something they have to learn. We need to make First Amendment rights something they want to learn.
One of the important ways this program, the findings of the study can be advanced are through increased partnerships between high schools and news media companies. Help the students really understand the value of it and energize the journalists who are already interested in high schools.
Those students who do learn about the First Amendment in their courses, those students who do take advantage of the paltry number of programs that are available in terms of extracurricular activities like student newspaper and student TV, those students who do engage in that type of coursework and in those types of extracurricular activities are much more appreciative of the First Amendment than are those students who don't.
The Future of the First Amendment study can be accessed at firstamendmentfuture.org. The site includes the complete study available for download, information about how the study was conducted, and reactions from media professionals and educators across the nation.